So I tried a virtual cable so I can only record certain sounds, and it turns out it didn't record any sound, even though I tested it beforehand and it was working. So I'm just gonna talk over this so it's not quiet. Uh, I'm doing this on Titan and loadout. I was using vortex nades, but I mean void wall for champion damage, but man, that was just leaving like one or two ads on the boss, and they just sneak up out of nowhere or teleport or something was going on, and they just hit me in the back a lot. So I was like, all right, screw it. I'm using Heart of MMOs because ability spam is great. Let's see what else. Yeah, just kind of sparrow in, you know. I got Osteo because it's OP. Like, if they nerfed it, I would not. I'd actually be happy. Glazer, I think they're honestly just pretty great even without suppression. The block on it is way stronger than a sword block. Like, holy shit, dude. So I found out this strat right here where you can volatile spam them off or just shield knock them off the map with the champion. I'm gonna do that shit right here again. It's gonna look funny. Actually, I don't know if this one worked. I think he stayed. Yeah, he didn't fly off the map, so I had to LFR him. I mean, I mean, like linearing him, it takes like 2 extra seconds, you know, but it's funny to watch the champion fly off the map. So it just comes down to knowing like what spawns where. So sniper spawn with the overload, so might as well just osteo. Sorry, not the overload, the unstop. Just osteo him. But yeah, Void Wall Nade was doing almost an entire overload's health, or I guess any champion's health. It was awesome. But then I had so much linear ammo, so I was like, I guess I don't really need it. So I just went back to add clear Vortex Nade. Basically did this in like one attempt with the Vortex Nade. This part you can do it without bubble. I've done it. I have like a 50% chance of doing it without bubble. It just depends on, honestly, a few random things. Like, oh, will the stalker randomly decide to hide or run with his weapon out or somehow not die like that guy? Or I just miss. So it's just knowing like, okay, the Screebs are gonna spawn, the glaive one-shots them. You have to block these guys, otherwise they're gonna kill you in your bubble. So knowing like where the Screebs spawn, where where they spawn is nice. The glaive will one-shot. And yeah, just kind of abuse Osteo. You know, one of the most important things for any solo anything is just knowing where things spawn and what spawns, where they spawn, what triggers it. You can take any loadout you want, and it won't make that much of a difference. But knowing those things, that's a huge difference. And then having like a rotation to deal with that. Like there's a, I don't know why I'm missing so many shots with the LFR. I should just osteo everything, but whatever. Yeah, there's all there's like a 50% chance they're just gonna glitch out like that. It's kind of funny. There's two approaches. That one who's already hitting me, so I'm just gonna go around. I literally forgot to unstop him. Whoops. Get the invis to proc. Just kind of get a better idea what's going on here. See, Void one they like faster cooldown. It'd already be up. They'd all be dead. The fastest I've done this was actually a full minute faster than currently right now, which is really ridiculous. But it was with Void Wall Nade. It just does way too much damage. On the boss, it was basically overkilling the ads. It was like doing way too much on some ads, but then not really touching the others, I guess. Like, I think the volatile explosion would send them away from the nade, so it wouldn't actually touch them in general. But then I can't take volatile off. The free heals are, they're free. And you can basically on-demand trigger them. I used to rush in, go up the stairs, but then they would rush me. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll just chill here. Just make sure the stalkers are dead so they don't spam grenades at you. Basically just kind of clear out the room, you know, a lot of things running around here. Yeah, I thought I hit him with a grenade, but I didn't. But it's okay. As long as my glaive's out, like I feel like I've God mode on straight up. I think even when suppressing glaive goes away, I'm still gonna use it. Because recently I feel like I only need two weapons. Something for ad clear, something for boss slash champ damage. And I feel like Osteo and an LFR or Tiku's an LFR, you know, things like that basically cover it. And then the other one's kind of like utility. And glaive is great utility for blocking. And it's like a nice quick one hit thing where you don't need a precision hit to do max damage on it. You don't really need to pick element shields. Like these guys' elements are actually random in this part. Like it could be void arc or solar or a combination of both or either. Yeah, I used to push them off the end, but sometimes they just like really fight it and move away. I got a little 360 smack on them. So the glaive's really good for blocking because when you block with the sword, if you do not have heavy guard on, you can die really fast or your block will last like a second or two. And then if you do have heavy guard, you block a lot of damage, but you still get hit pretty hard even with it compared to a glaive. Where a glaive, you can get hit by a Scorn champion sniper like 7 times and you'll barely lose health versus them literally breaking my bubble in 4 or 5 hits. That's just ridiculous. And then no matter what damage you take with the sword, while you block, you will actually lose health, even if it's just a little bit. But because you're losing just a little bit, you're not regenerating health. But a lot of things do such little damage to the glaive that it doesn't actually reduce your health. So you can basically start health regen because you're not taking damage. And another thing is that the block radius for the sword is really high. It's actually bigger than your hitbox. So things that would have normally missed you actually hit you instead, technically, they hit your sword. So when I used to do GMs with the sword, it'd be like, I have to actually think if I do want to block if I'm moving. Because some things may just miss me naturally, but now they'll actually hit me. But the glaive, I don't think it has that. I think it's actually just your own hitbox. But the sword obviously has like, it's got that damage. I thought I liked the memento on the Enigma, the Nightfall one, but oof, I kind of don't like it. I just wish it wasn't so like citrusy orange. Like they could use like a nice amber or something, but or maybe make it like an accent, like mostly blue with a nice accent of the orange, but orange main color, oof. I was whiffing half those shots somehow hitting the barricade. So because that area has two big spawns of ads, you just like ad clear with one nade. Or like throw an ad clear nade one side and then osteo the other side. And then it kind of evens out a little bit. Here, just proc osteo on them as they spawn. This guy always spawns with the second wave. So I just suppress him. He will chase you if you don't kill him though, like to the next plate, I realized. Here I bubbled because I was getting really low. I was like, yeah, screw this, I'm just gonna get out of here. And then I realized, oh, I do have to kill him. That's right. Do that cool thing where you like put a dot on him, then walk away. Put on my glasses. This side's harder just because they can spawn on higher ground. And they don't have to jump across anything. Same thing, second spawn, there's a captain. The captain's literally sprinting, it's kind of scaring me. And then here I was like, I don't want to get two-shot by a shotgun pistol dude, whatever the hell. This is actually the sloppiest I've ever done a plate, because on the other one I used my bubble, and I never used my bubble on that plate, because I never have to. But I just got owned on that plate somehow. And I think they just keep infinite spawning, so I was like, alright, I gotta do something. I gotta funnel them. I want to use my finisher invis on someone, but I don't want to die during the finisher. And unfortunately, only hunters have access to a stupidly fast finisher. All the animation times for finishers are mostly the same, but then the time at which the finisher kills them and procs on finisher effects is vastly different. Like hunters is like 4 times faster than anyone else is. And one of my friends told me it makes a huge difference when he does GMs, because when I was doing lightblade, I die a lot during finisher. But then the finisher on hunter is so fast that they basically shoot like a bullet, or not even, because you're already invis like that fast. And then warlocks have a really fast one, I think it's called on guard. And then titans is just like, just gotta use whatever's there. I just use this one because it's kind of cool. It's free. At least I think it was free. Battle pass, whatever. Season pass. You can see a lot of things in this Nightfall are like things spawn in front of you, and then you have time to like think about what you want to do. It's not like some other Nightfalls where maybe they like spawn out of a door around a corner and then they're already like congregated in their areas, they're all situated. But no, you can actually get these guys before they get situated. Because you see them spawn out in the open in front of you most of the time. So you gotta take advantage of that. I mean, you don't have to, but if you want a really fast time, yeah, you're going to. I wonder how fast I can do this on Hunter. Like I could just skip most of this. If you osteo only enough to proc the poison, and then that bullet is the overload bullet, like one of those few overload bullets, that poison will be overloaded or overload until it runs out. So it's like a 10-12 second overload, which is really, really long. But I noticed doesn't really proc it on a second overload if they're next to them, like these next two guys up here. This corridor is really scary just because they keep chucking nades, and then like the stalkers, they'll just throw away their gun and be like with their little torches trying to melee you. They have the worst melee in the game. I hate it just because of how fast they move. And they look really funny when they do it too. They look like monkeys or something. If it was Void Wall Nade, I'd only have to shoot twice, and then they would literally die to the grenade. Somehow that guy lost like half his health in one LFR shot, so I don't know what happened. Here, a bunch of things rush you. And then when the captain dies, not when the boss dies, when the captain dies, I'm pretty sure more stalkers rush you. All I'm really looking out for is a little bit above the boss, just like kind of in the air. I'm looking out for enemy nades. Just little purple circles flying my way. I'm out. Like that. Oh, I think I just made an orb actually. And I thought it was a grenade. But still, like, you don't want to. Well, don't take the risk, dude. Well, I take a lot of risks, but for something like that, I'll happily sit back for 2 seconds. Because if you're not taking risks at all, then it's kind of boring. As long as any unstop doesn't see you, most of the time they won't run at you. And their eyes basically are closed when you stop them until the recovery is fully complete. Not when they just stand up, but when they're actually like not taking max damage anymore. Like that, he's still walking because he was still technically stunned, even though he stood up for a half second. So as long as they don't see you, that grenade made me happy. But if it was Void Wall, they would literally all be dead. Bonk. So something like, there's not a lot of, well, the champion pressure to kill them isn't too hard here. Like I mean, I'm almost done it just ignoring the champions because they're just annoying. Like, oh, the boss put down the purple thing behind cover when I'm trying to kill the champion. Oh, fuck it. Now there's ads everywhere. So I just kind of ignore them. But then I did start killing them. So it's either or, except for the unstop, of course. I'm talking about the overloads in the boss room. But for something like Glassway, where you literally just need that overload to die, you cannot do anything otherwise, then I'd use Void Wall Nade. Because Void Wall is like, screw you, you're dead. So my new strat is I go full man mode and I bubble on this bitch. I make sure he does not get away. And if there's a purple thing, I pull out my glaive and I kill it with blockout. Like I'm basically just unkillable doing the strat. There's nothing they can do about it. And then I'm just using the bubble as extra cover against the boss. Just keeping an eye on it, make sure it doesn't just WQ. Because one thing is that I think every range ad in the game, when affected by that purple thing, will not move from its radius. They'll stay in it. It's it's a pretty similar thing to Child of the Old Gods, which actually works on unstop, by the way. If you hit an unstop with Child of the Old Gods, they'll just walk. If you hit an overload with it, they won't teleport or anything. They'll just walk around. So that's really good. I think it made Glassway GM like super easy on Warlock. Like you just put a Child of the Old Gods on one of them as they spawn in, and then they're just locked down for like 15 seconds. Gives you plenty of time to deal with the other one. Anyways, just killing the ads, prioritizing the purple thing if I see it near the spawn. I'm getting pretty lucky. Like he's not bullshitting me by just dropping it as soon as I throw my grenade, like behind cover or some shit. That's usually what happens. And that's usually what gets me killed. Or a grenade from a stalker I never saw. I'm just kind of keeping him here though. Because like I was kind of rotating back and forth, and then I realized that, oh, he's just putting his immune field everywhere if I do that. So I'd rather keep it localized in one area. And then I don't really know how many ads waves there are, so I just kind of estimated it. So I was like, okay, there's probably nothing here. Also, he has a really high chance of shooting your grenade out of there. Any of those saw blade weapons do. They do it a lot. So now I just do my rotation, my Heart of Endless Light, and now I just do damage. I really should be proccing Osteo. There we go. Then I'm like, oof, I need ammo. I'm just saving linear for... Not gonna lie, I don't actually know what I'm saving it for. I should have just used it. That's alright. Just don't forget that Unstop on Glaive does work on things that are not just unstoppable champs. Like, it will stun them for a second. Overload will proc at 30%-ish debuff damage on any enemy in the game, pretty sure. I think any enemy, even raid bosses and shit. It'll make them do 30% less damage. And it'll stop their abilities. And then barrier, you know, I think most people know that it goes through like failing shields and whatnot. So every champion modifier or mod does do something outside of champions. That's usually why I always have overload grenades on, even though there may not be overload champs. It's just nice to make them do less damage. Here, just, you know, self-explanatory this room, just kind of go through it. Except the end, of course. I found out, well, I mean, I'm sure someone else did too, that you could just jump on those little vases and get some extra height and jump up top and rain down on the overload. Also, I didn't realize the ammo there actually stays from the previous time you were there, so I could have been spamming this a little bit more. I guess you can go right, but for some reason I always just go left on things. Like even on lightblade, on fairy skip, I was just going left. I think in the campaign there's like a little corridor where you can go left or right. I also just go left. Even in the boss room I'm on the left. Oh damn. I'm just gonna wait for my grenade. So now we have an unstop in the next room with an abomination. And it was already so far away, so it took me way too long to realize where it was, so it's okay. I'll bubble reactively then. Yeah, I forgot about these guys, but good thing I have a barricade there. He got blinded by it. Somehow missed on that guy. You can even hit a lurker shield and it won't even, yeah, this guy just, I don't know what made him run at me, but you can even hit a lurker shield with the glaive and it'll own him. That dude literally just misses melee. I'm pretty sure his whole family's disappointed in him. Somehow he stomped me from like that range and also somehow I lived even though we take more than melee damage, so I feel like normally that stomp would have done nothing because it really should have done nothing. Yeah, just keep those ears open. Watch out for those guys meleeing on you. You'll never know when you have to quickly turn around. Now I'm realizing, oh shit, I'm low on ammo. Somehow he hit me when I suppressed him. I guess he already started his melee animation. But it's a good thing I did my finisher, otherwise I would have died. That damage resist still didn't almost save me. That finisher sent him flying. I never actually realized that till now. I always rotate between these two because there's better cover than being up top. And either overload will actually stay on the top stairs. They will never come down. Actually, I don't remember about the last overload in the third phase. I don't remember, but at least the first one does. Here, I'm pretty sure all the others are dead. Same thing, just got the rotations out. Breaks my nade, I hate him. Didn't even pick up that green. Get the unstop on. Like having a glaive out when you need to rotate is so clutch because not only are you blocking, but has unstop too. It's like the boss is on you. Shoot him. He's stunned. You're blocking everything else. You're chilling. And it's nice just to be airborne and like hit an ad in the toe or in the shield and they just get one shot. Like the only other special ammo that's gonna do that is like a grenade launcher, just being in the air, just body shot anywhere they'll die. But this is easier because it's a straight line projectile. Salvagers would actually be good for this though. That dude's body friggin' flew forward. Just taking my time. I got time till my grenades up. Although I should have used barricade just to save me like 4 seconds, but it doesn't matter. I'm getting my barricade up too. So look for the ones with more spawns like that. Like there's like 5 blue flames. That's going to be the champion. Same with any of these waves. There's going to be like split. Two will be off on their own. I actually lost all of my shield in that bubble, so I was really close to dying. I didn't actually even realize it too. Sometimes I forget to keep spamming abilities because I'm too busy looking around for other things. That's okay. Raiders actually are one of the few that I think run away from immune fields. Most don't. You see how that dude flew with Void Wall Nade? A lot of things would just fly around. The boss, for some reason, is just sitting in the corner, not helping out his friends, so I'm gonna kill him. Hoping for no immune field, but I'm ready for it. Got my glaive out. Nah, he just straight up gave it to me. He's spamming them back there. It's good that barricades are curved, because that curve actually blocks a lot of stuff like that. So where is this immune thing? Oh, he's got like 7 up. But his immune things are like over there, so I was like, if I break him, he's probably gonna put a new one down, so I'm just gonna leave it. Yeah, sometimes they double key on you like that. It's scary. And at this point, the strike is basically over. I got 17 L4 shots and bubble for damage, and he's debuffed. I'm ready. Missing literally like half the shots. Rally's nice because not against this guy. I mean, just because I have high ground, it's good. But things that have AoE damage, like barrier knights, they actually aim for your feet. Like overload minotaurs, they aim at your feet, and rally barricade covers that still. They aim at your feet because if they miss, they'll still hit the ground. So, still learning the commentary thing. Ideally I didn't want it for this one, but I'm also sad there was no audio, so I'm not gonna upload no blank audio, whatever. And I guess I don't know if I want to solo Glassway a second time. I already did it on Titan. I think I have the fastest time on a non-hunter, but whatever. We'll see. See ya.